Hello once again, my friends. Hambbage here, and yeah, we've got more hardcore vanilla Minecraft coming right up. Let's get this slide out of the way and get going. Filler World is what we're playing, otherwise affectionately known as Woof. It is taking off. We're, 4 or 5 episodes in, and zipping right along on the progress of the early game stuff. I hope you guys are having a good time watching it. Thanks for those of you guys who have dropped by or dropped comments, likes, those kind of things. I do appreciate them. They keep me making more. So keep up the progress. I think where we left off, we were waiting for stuff to grow, obviously, but kind of the immediate next project I wanted to do was to make a bit of a walkway over to that side so we can keep this nice and uh, walled off, I guess. Something like that. And at least this will be a good starting point. Kind of get me back into things. Did end up taking the rest of the night off, so everything up to this point in this world was from single day. And 4 or 5 recording sessions, whatever that ended up being. We were definitely getting to the point where get a little bit more of a effective world, not just a survival situation, let's call it. So that's kind of nice, we're this by itself, it represents us, kind of building up our supplies, right? We're gonna have a small farm here, nothing like what we had in the previous world, and really not to the style extent that I normally like in my worlds, because I do like the long stretch farms as far as harvesting and processing, but we're not in that kind of terrain at the moment, and for that reason, we're not going to really push it too much. We're going to just take enough to get by, and then figure that we'll end up in a location better suited to farming, where we can set that up. And again, better tools, all that. Those go from kind of huge early game projects to minor knock 'em out kind of things in between other stuff when we really get cranking. So we'll keep working towards that. Now this is what I'm thinking for along here. We'll keep this consistent, because I think the consistency is kind of nice. Don't think I'm digging the dirt there. And let's go back over here. This is a little odd. They made it, and I guess it's just kind of a wall shaping thing. Aside from being the pose the picture spot from our last endeavor, I don't know that it was super useful. What do we want to do here? I think recess. get to the rest of those. There we go. What I was looking for is these. Maybe the wood, actually, because we got a lot of cobble up there. Those are the gates. You want the fences. I just kind of wanted something along here to kind of double buffer our little farm area. And we've got some dirt here. I think all this needs to switch into cobble to look as not awful as possible. This is exactly what I was warning about in the last episode. We can't stay up late here, even if we're trying to finish up a job real quick, because oh man. Oh, I had my bed the whole time. I thought I left it over there. It helps to look at your inventory as you're going. Yeah, we can't put our villagers along here at risk, and they're a little resentful that we've come and just completely restyled their village, but we did it with the best of intentions, really. I think we're just going to do a bit of that too. We kind of got a barrier as we come down here. It's a natural flow. And we'll put a couple at the bottom of the stairs there. And then here, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So let's get our fence up here. Let's go ahead and fill these. Not at all what I was trying to do. And then we'll just take this down a bit. Maybe even 1 or 2 more back. 2 more back. And for those of you who are feeling the agony of too much cobble, I appreciate that. I understand it's a little heavy, but we'll balance it out here. Again, this is early world, and I really went out of my way to avoid it last time. But this time we're doing a different world. I'm not gonna do everything the same, and clearly sandstone is not going to be our top choice just because we used so much of it. And the game developers decided that these forest villages are heavily built using cobble. So it's not like we're out of sync with the rest of the game here. Actually getting kind of low. It's crazy. And then I think... always one. Okay. That's fine. Let's clean that up. So I think that's enough light to keep that pretty minimal. And if anything does wander up here, it won't drop down over the top, which is really all we had as a big concern out of this whole project, was keeping things out of our fields. And right from the start, seeing those golems bouncing around was not reassuring. All right, we can put all these away. I don't think I'm gonna need more dirt, but we do need more steps, and I don't see that we have any. That should make 20. That seems like a good start. So we've got 2 places to use stairs. I want to run this up. There. Good start. We still need to get sand too. That should be something we try to push for a bit today. Maybe we balance that out eventually. Oh, stupid stairs. What do you think? Why not? We got lots of iron now. Lots of iron. Oh, I just want to check here now that we're back to a single screen. Make sure I'm not leaving slides up or mics off or anything like that. We just need stairs? Am I missing anything? We need 2 sets of these because we need 5. Ooh, gotta fill in that hole too. That's kind of ugly. Oh, I never filled this in. Little off. I want to apologize for still getting warmed up. You know, like any sport or competition skill, you gotta practice just a bit, get everything going. It's a little bit later in the day, which I'm okay with. It started off, and now I hear a truck rumbling out there. So today they were working on these under sidewalk. They're not culverts. They're like little drain pipe things. I mean, it's a sidewalk slab, right? They're like 4 inches deep. I mentioned them yesterday, I believe. And they just had these metal footpad things over the top of them. So, you know, it wasn't a hole or anything. It was just level with the concrete. Well, they were getting all like rusted out. Looked kind of bad. So when the place said, yeah, we're going around replacing those, I wasn't surprised. I thought that was a pretty good idea. What was a little surprising to me yesterday, I don't think I shared this. If I did, I apologize. I was in the bathroom, and I get this loud, like, you know, not just a tap, but like a firm knock at my door. I was like, what the? I'm not expecting anybody, so hurry out of the bathroom and race to the door. And, it took me a minute. Um, and as I get there, the main office lady of my complex is actually walking away. I'm like, hey, sorry. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, interrupt you or anything. And I said, no worries. She's like, do you own either of those two Nissan Altimas? And I'm like, no, you guys know. I drive this, it's a 1998 Toyota 4Runner, and it's awesome. It can get me all over the place in Colorado. That's why I have it. Camp in the back of it, all that kind of stuff. But it's pretty it's although there are still a surprising amount of third gen 4Runners here in Colorado. They're so popular, and they're relatively easy to maintain. You can still get parts for them pretty easily. So for all those reasons, and the fact that they perform very well off-road, on-road, just very very good vehicle. So I still have one that I got. I got it maybe '06, and have been driving it ever since. And it's great. Love it. But it's noticeable enough. And I'm like, yeah, those aren't my cars. She's like, well, do you know who they are? We're trying to get these things done. I was like, what things? Like, oh, we're doing the parking lot, these little drain things. And I was like, oh, are you guys restriping too? I'm not parked where you're asking about, but I can move. No, not yet. We're gonna do that, but working on this other thing. So they were tracking down people to try to get their cars out of the way, and they hadn't. And last evening, at least, those cars hadn't moved. I don't know whose they were, but this morning they were out bright and early. And I don't know. Sometimes you get forcefully relocated, as it were, if you haven't moved out of the way in time. There's that Fox squeaky toy sound. I'm gonna have a sip of my drink here. So, needless to say, there's been a lot of noise today. I've had grinder type things and what I would imagine are cement mixer type things, and all kinds of stuff going on in the process of getting that out and replaced. And I had hoped it was done. It seemed quiet. Everything had kind of moved on its way. But the only reason I'm sharing all this riveting, exciting information is I don't know. And yesterday I talked about, with just a little bit of effort, you can avoid even the disruption of like lawnmowers and stuff. If you know it's a possible day, don't set that up as your day to do, or time to do recording. Let them get done. Well, that may still be coming. I hope not, but with the holiday weekend, last weekend, all the days of all the service things are off. And I don't know when anything's going to hit, but having not recorded this morning, I wanted to get some more episodes done. I've been thinking about this world and where we're at with it, what's going on. While we've got some time and an extra axe, in fact, while we've got some time, let's consolidate a couple of these tools. I think we've got a little bit more time left on that pick. Eventually, we want to get back over to our actual home and work some of those surface level caves a little bit more, actually mine them and try to get, some of them lit up, explore what that hole is that we've got at the base of our ladder. And again, to do that, we need some sand. I need to get enough glass to be able to do a couple little things that are pressing me a bit. I'd like to get that hole covered right at the top of those stairs I just added getting out of the village on the way home. because I could easily see myself falling in there, and I don't want to. And I'd also like glass for the ladders that I've got going down into that ravine, so we can kind of more safely up and down in the nighttime there, as well as our stairs down to the lowest level. And in probably a standalone episode, I want to do, or a couple, I want to do more work down under the base, going after more diamonds, all that good stuff. So this looks like an example of where we broke a tree, but it's still got contact with the log pieces and therefore won't decay. And as said, okay, I think that's all free now. Those will just kind of hang around. We're getting better on the trees. You know, I don't mean to completely deforest this area. They've got good character with the spruce trees, and having a few of them in and about is pretty nice, but can have too much of a good thing. Whereas we can never have enough of a good thing, spruce wood. But yeah, some of these with no limbs, I really like those in town. They are pretty good. But it's some of these that have low limbs and make it pretty tough to see trouble coming at us, that are the ones I'd like to get rid of. At least this isn't impossible anymore. I mean, it's still not efficiency 5 diamond speed, but okay, there's all those. Now, this is the one that's gonna be trouble. I think that gets it all. See anything else while we're up here? And one random dirt block seems troublesome. Clear that. And this is, again, just kind of ways to keep busy, and I don't think they're a waste. I like having a nice looking little town around here, and I like having spruce wood, and I like having a reason to harvest it where I'm also getting the benefit of wheat and potatoes, so I don't know how well those are going to go away. Is that all the dirt I have? Okay, well, still think there's some to be done out between some of these places, but that's good progress. So now what do I want to do here? If these are set, let's go wheat, and then we'll wrap the potatoes around on that side. Seem good? I like that plan. Good, good, good. Knew you would. It's weird you get caught on that little nub. I'm like pushing in both directions and just stuck right on the edge of it. I won't let you go around. No, I did close those, right? No. Oh, man. Whew. Yeah, do not let them go wandering in. So, we'll turn my taters, apparently. Alright, again, pretty decent in that regard. Let's go do the tree, since we're kind of in a lumberjacking mode. There's one or two trees down here that always get me. Maybe we need to do all three of these. Two and three. Perfect. Alright, hopefully those other trees don't keep these. That one. Alright, I think everything else can go from there. So that's good. Now, eventually, I want to get stairs here. Should I just go ahead and do that too? Got lots of this shovel left. I forgot about that field. We can check it when I get back to. Man, I don't know if it's like a small plane parade or what's going on, but it's just kind of been droning like a mosquito out there. One or multiple doing circles. I do live near an airport, but usually you get just hey, plane went over the top, and the most spectacular ones, are either the most often now it's the wildfire fighters, but occasionally they have flyovers and stuff that come through there, so military jets and things, and even the commercial jets. They do a lot of the regional commuter type flights in and out of there, so you'll get those. I don't. I think of them as like Lear jets, right? They're the passenger jets, and I don't even know. Maybe 40, 50 people or so sit in those things. Um, they're kind of like a flying school bus type jet airplane. All right, let's go here. Got no seeds. Oh, you harvested it. I see how it is. Can you please plant some beets or some carrots? Would that be cool? I wonder what little bone we have back there. I'd kind of rather get a dog than spend it all on bone meal just yet until we have a better source. Alright, they're just lagging a little bit behind. What else can we do that's fun around town here? Um, it's more seeds, I guess. Is there anything up here? Yeah, kind of give up on this guy, man. This is just a mess. Um, that's why we got our private field. Can sell them tickets so they can watch me farm, see the goodness. You're right. Let's go get some iron for that golem. He's beat up. Anything else we can get while we're over here? At least we'll be checking in. Wow, rogue kitty cat. Sand. Maybe that's. Let's reset our tools take black a couple iron blocks for the neighborhood golems over there. Wait, I need those. Did that really just fill out a stack? Always dislike when that happens. Let's put that away because I don't think there's enough of it left to really account. These over. Okay. Sticks back. All that can go back over. I was a little worried about taking all the stone. I think we took all the dirt, though. Anything here? I guess we can put all these away. Put the pumpkins away. Have anything cooking? Oh. Still got some daylight. And then maybe the other thing we do while we're in this cooking farming mode is try to head down on that opposite side of the mountain kind of thing. Because, you know, our river access is right over there. But cut down on that side to that little arm of the river. And see if we can connect those. First things first, let's have a little snack. Oh, there he is. Can't hide from me, beat up golem. There you go. Definitely ill-afforded luxury kind of thing, but that's alright. Swing back by the crops, see how they're doing. Not much. Alright, you protect me while I sleep. Let's check the time while we sleep. After we sleep. Alright, that's 20 minutes left. Get our bed. I was kind of wondering if this highland here would run out kind of like this. We just weren't on the right spot of it. Watch out for those holes, though. Oh, and this goes all the way to grassland. Oh, that's interesting. And those are the trouble, right? That's what we think goes to ocean, but then as soon as we get out there, it doesn't at all. But up here, okay, this is our next mission. If there's a straight line kind of path that doesn't in-cut itself too much, see how that's kind of got a drop off? This looks to be pretty straight through, so let's start clearing out here. Again, I don't know why sometimes those tools don't want to switch. Unrelated, but another fun thing I forgot to acknowledge, and not sure if it had happened yesterday or not, but we're playing in 117.1 today, I noticed, and I didn't really catch when it updated, but it was already going when I launched the game today. So think usually the dot ones are pretty much unexciting stability stuff. At least I didn't hear any noise or excitement or buzz around 116.1. Usually, if a particular fix is coming and it's got anything that's really noticeable or noteworthy on an individual thing, you know what's coming. You know what's so broken, like the invisible blocks and things like that. Sometimes there have been releases that have been like, oh, yeah, that's pretty broken. I hope they fix that soon. And sure enough, they come out and do it, and all good. But no, nothing anticipated in this one, which usually just means okay, it's server type stuff or functionality, not function, but integration functionality type stuff, those kind of things. Um, but very often you will see a general like speed and those kinds of functions improve. Um, and you may not, as a player, be able to attribute it to any individual thing, but they've just seen in the more advanced visibility. Oh yeah, this needed to get tweaked, or this particular thing is now working correctly. It hadn't been, or oops, we missed that. Those kind of things get cleaned up, and without even knowing that they were really an issue at the consumer level, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, load screens are faster, any of that kind of stuff. So always nice to see. I kind of always anticipate the dot one, dot two. Dot two is usually kind of the deeper stuff. At least this is my impression. It may be way off, and it may not be as consistent as I think it is. But usually, dot one is highly anticipated. Dot one's going to be the kind of minor stuff that your larger user base gets to you as soon as it goes wide, and it's a bit less of a deal now because of snapshots and the widespread adoption of versions before they're really officially released. So, as much as I kind of poo-poo it and say I want to play the game when it comes out as is and not get caught up in that constantly trying to stay ahead of it, I think in some ways the production companies really love it because by the time they have an official release, it's been well tested and played by a broad audience. And I watched that growing up. For a lot of younger players these days, you don't remember. There used to be a clout to being a beta tester. That was a big deal, because to be given access to a beta version of a game, you had to, they didn't want a bunch of trolls or the just the flex type stuff, they wanted people that would give them productive, good feedback, and people that actually knew a baseline of games that they could compare things to. So it very much became a matter of, oh, I got named to the beta list for bleh, well, whatever game it was that was coming. That was a big deal. And um, if you were consistent, and produced good documentation, good information on what your play experience was, and if you encountered something, gave them the right information to help get it addressed without them having to push and prod. Okay, well, what kind of operating system were you running? What were you doing in the game when, the write-ups and stuff like that really, really provide a lot of that leverage. Well, that stuff's gone now. There aren't closed betas, so to speak. You just go look at the Steam page, right? This is early access. Everything is early access, and it's just developers code for. Yeah, we haven't really had a chance to go back through everything, but we've got something, and not being sure of funding or how long that may last, we're just gonna get it up here. You guys start playing it, generating buzz. If there's things you like about it, let us know, and if there's things that aren't working, let us know that too, and we'll get them on the list, get them worked on. So I've always kind of looked at a .1 is the weak soak, WEEK, not EAK, of game release. So you put out the version 117 in this case. You let people play it and enjoy it, and after a week or so, you got a big old stack of user reports, things that people have experienced in play that they feel is not right, and then you got to go through and filter all those, right? And a bunch of them you got to just discredit right out the gate. Of those are people that are impatient. They expect everything to function as it had in the past, and are just unaware of how the new content is expected to behave. And so they're going to cry about it. For lack of a better word, they're going to cry about it and say, oh, it's broken, it's a bug. And no, it's not. You haven't yet seen how it plays out. You're making a user mistake that, in some cases, we've kind of set you up to make, right? It's a part of the game. It's going to be a turn. You've accepted this quest, and now you've got an item stuck in your inventory. You can't get rid of it. That's how we designed it to play. And yeah, your inventory just went down by 10 pounds or whatever, because now you're stuck carrying this thing around. But yeah, you gotta go figure it out. That's part of the game. So there's a bunch of that kind of stuff that's quickly discredited, sorted as, all right, yep, that's everybody got the 10-pound quest thing that we know they're finding it. And then you have a lot of cosmetic-y type stuff that you probably are aware is out there at the time of a launch. But you got deadlines and things like that. And, it's functionality, not pretty in most games. It depends a little bit on who the chief designer is and what the goal is, but generally speaking, you want the game to work first and look good working second. So a lot of those things, you just didn't even bother to track until you got a working functional game up to be evaluated. So you get a big stack of those too. Lots, and those are kind of just the minor tweak fixes, quick fixes. These are the ones that it's like, okay, yeah, nobody looked at the Nike T-shirt image that we put in, but the logo is backwards. We need to get that tweaked because now we got Nike. I'm saying Nike, right? Like think some smaller deal, a logo that wouldn't be universally known. But maybe somebody paid. It was a marketing deal. They paid 5-10 grand or whatever to have their logo in the game. And for your development team, yeah, it was in. You loaded the file. It was great. Everybody thought it was perfect. And let's say the logo is an ant. I don't know, an ant lifting up an aphid or something, right? That's their logo. And so your development team loads the graphic file, puts it on the T-shirt. The T-shirt's great. Everything's good. And boom, you go to launch. Everything's awesome. And then the company that paid for that first launches the game. They get to the part of the content where their game, and they already knew, right? They were aware that this was all going, but they hadn't seen it in the game yet. They just knew it was supposed to be coming. They maybe had some meetings with their rep or whoever, saying, yeah, it's in, and here's the kind of the scene lead up where it's gonna be and all that. And then they all get together because that's what sales and marketing type people tend to do, and probably go out to a nice club or restaurant or something and get a private room and set up a thing and have somebody from the tech team playing the game to get them to the content where it's going to show up and say, all right, here you go. This is the big reveal of your T-shirt. And there's awkward silence and some grunts because the ant holding the aphid, the image was reversed and nobody knew it, but the aphid is always supposed to be facing left because that's, that was really important to the founder of the company's, I don't know, whatever. This is getting really stretched thin. But yeah, an image file that nobody knew made a difference left to right got flipped. It all looked fine. Everybody was great except when the people who had designed it see it and go, no, that's, for whatever reason, it's really important that it go the other way. Well, there was no way you could have known that until it happened and that particular person told you. So nobody's really to blame. It's just you need that expert set of eyes, and they didn't previously have access to it. So all kinds of stuff like that, those kinds of scenarios, and just stuff you didn't even care to look at, but you knew would come up. So yeah, pretty quick. Yeah, big stack of quick and easy stuff. All that gets knocked out, and that's usually update 1 because it quiets a ton of noise. And it, depending on how the game launched, any showstopper stuff, if it's not downloading the same on all consoles or something like that, or if there's a pervasive, anybody that uses the I can't think of what's the is it Racer? Is that the keyboard, the fancy keyboards? Whatever. Anybody that uses this keyboard type can't play the game right now, and they're all just staring at a big angry OS error. Those get addressed really quick. Well, then the next ones are the more complex integration type bugs and things that they may not have caught or been aware of until game released, but that aren't just like a 5-minute coding fix. These are the ones that you're going to have to look at and go, oh, how did that situation come to pass in the game world, and what things might we inadvertently upset if we address it. So they just take a few sets of eyes. They take an isolated test version of the code and saying, all right, let's go try to fix it and then see what else that breaks. Just a more cautious approach to coding and repairing stuff like that. So that's usually an update too. And those are kind of the ones that I look for. Then is, all right, these are what traditionally would have been the bugs when QA cycles were done much more in-house and not just relied upon a early access snapshot of a to be released game or version or update or whatever. So 1.17.1, which I inadvertently was labeling with from the very start, and I finally got it corrected, and now we're back to actually being 1.17.1. So I'll try to fix that for the description of the videos, but pretty cool to be moving along. Did we just come back to harvest? Was there anything we were looking for when we were here? Guess we can combine those axes now. Done a lot more choppery. So the reason we just cut all this path out, and maybe we should keep cutting a little bit, try to make this as direct as possible to where we're actually going to be standing. I don't want to have to loop around buildings. Are you... Just when you think you're under a short tree, you're not. It's a big tree. Okay, so that gets us from our little workbench area out around this tree. I don't really want to start trimming hills, but I do do a little bit of this kind of stuff. So funny when there's not a machine or an airplane or something going by. It sounds so quiet today. I've just kind of had that constant background noise going. So when things kind of quiet down, I like hear the cooling fan and everything. Like, ooh, are there still people out there? Alright, so we got a nice little causeway here. I think we're going to take this down as well. It's a good thing we have lots of wood here. It'd be kind of nice to nail down right where that other village was. I think it was still pretty good ways off, wasn't it? But if we could have it nailed down, it would be great to be kind of in parallel. What do you mean at night? It's so at night. So I think one more of these. A bit more trim in there. Get it tonight. All right, lots of water. Trying to stay hydrated. It is definitely heating up today, and it is definitely one of those where after having not recorded for quite a while, and then doing a big bunch of them the other day, I was feeling it. So we'll use this shovel. I think we may do some bigger fields here out on this plane, but I'd kind of like to know beforehand how those all line up and how the villages line up. You know, this is a great little road access out. Have we ever been up to that top house? I didn't know there was. I knew about the one by the field up there at the top of our stairs. I didn't know there was one all the way up the top. See, that's why it's good to come out here and explore. But yeah, clearly if we can, kind of make arrow straight Roman style roads, that would be a pretty cool deal. And having all this dirt. In fact, I don't want to get too ahead of myself yet, because the whole point of being out here is just one lower. Little hiccup there. Or hiccup, burp, herp. Something. The whole point of working here is to be able to cycle back and forth to the village and make sure those village crops are growing. But, picking away at everything. That's how we like to do. So, let's just make 8. Use 2. Store a bunch. Won't store up all that stuff because obviously we'll need, in fact, let's make a couple of shovels. Hey, we got a poison potato at some point. First of those. Okay, so the point of these chests is mainly dirt storage more than the logs and everything we can actually use more back at base. The rest of this stuff's all fine to hang on to. Put that in here. We'll be repairing shovels plenty. Let's get a torch on either side so we can find them in the distance. And now let's go back and again check the crops. I don't know how far they're going, but we'll circle back and check out that house on the very top of the hill. It's very cool. Yeah, if we can be preparing for all that farm growth, and that's what I was wondering. At some point, we want to go all the way out and recheck the village. I also need to get sand, so all these things are hopefully gonna feed into one another. I guess we can store all those seeds. Maybe we can get chickens going again. It's got a lot closer, but they're not quite done yet. Let's do a little loop. Make sure everybody's getting their attention, but instead of doing the onesie twosie harvest at this point, we'll just let them sit and grow. Oh, maybe the potatoes. How many more do we need? 8, 9. That's 9. Got it. All right. Boom. Now we can let those grow. Now we can put that away for a second. Check the time. 1:05. All right. Well, that's our episode. I was gonna do all that. I was gonna go up for more sand. guess clearing out that little tongue of land is the next step. So next episode, I think starters, we head out where we just cleared out that little tongue of land. We um, tour into the plains again and try to get a bearing on where our second village is. Because if we can set up the fields kind of parallel to where we're going, we can kind of do a back and forth. As we're running from village to village, we can just stop off, do all the things. Each time we go back and forth, they're loading and growing some more. It's something. We'll see. But that's what my current thought is. And at the very minimum, we've got a road option and a boat option to get to the other village. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. I'm going to take a break. I hope you guys do the same. Again, remember, giving your eyes and your brain a break from the screens is so important. Getting up and moving around, letting the blood get moving in your extremities is also very important. So let's all do that for a second. I'm not going to tell you to go look outside though, because I know my outside is now getting up up towards the unbearably hot. So for the next few hours, I'm not going out. I want to keep everything closed up and shaded and as cool as possible. Save the AC some work. So we'll get up, move around, and all that. Stay comfortable though, and check in with you guys in a little while. Stay awesome out there.